Hi, in this video I will talk about how to set up a good looking background for your educational videos. The main thing to understand is that your background should help explain what you do. So if possible, people should understand your expertise just by seeing the video even before you say anything. So if your expertise is connected to a certain environment, use that as your background. And this works really well because it gives an instant context. And if someone opens your video, they should immediately get a sense of what kind of content this is and what you do. So here are a few examples. So if you make a fitness content, film in a gym, and if you work in real estate, so film in homes you are selling. And if you make gardening content, film in garden. And if you make cooking content, film in the kitchen. And these kind of backgrounds explain your work without you needing to explain it. And why this works so well is that I noticed this very clearly in a big live remote event. I had my camera set up so that my studio was visible in the background, and I didn't say anything about what I do. Still, people started asking what I do just by seeing the background, and they assumed I work with video or content because of what they saw behind me. And that was a good reminder that the background communicates a lot. So if your work is hands-on and involves tools or equipment, show those in the background. And this applies to things like woodworking, crafts, filming, music, or anything like practical. And just having them visible helps people understand what kind of work you do. And dedicated studio setup works well when your work is not tied to a specific location, and this is the type of setup I use myself. And the goal is to create clean and consistent filming space where you can always film in the same place, and this makes filming faster and keeps your videos visually consistent. And there are usually three common elements in the backgrounds. So if you look at many creator studios, you will notice that the same elements again and again. So there are usually shelves, as you can see here, plants, and also like some kind of lamp. And they just help the background look finished without pulling attention away from you. So what to put on the shelves? So shelves should include things related to your expertise and few personal items. So for example, books related to your work. So that's why I have like business books here, tools or gear you use. So, and I have like a lot of like camera gear behind me, and also add like personal items like drawings, gifts, or small objects that matter to you. And for example, I have here my kids' drawing mug that I got from my Father's Day gift and things like that. And this also keeps the background personal but still relevant the niche you are in. And background lighting helps separate you from the background, and the lights should stay dim. They are not meant to light you, they are just there to add depth. So for example, you could add like LED strips under or behind shelves, one warm lamp somewhere in the background, and you should always be the brightest part of the image. So as you can see on my background, there are LED strips below the shelves, and also I have this kind of light here behind me, just gives just a little bit warm light. And if I turn this off, by the way, use these kind of remotes it's much easier to control your light if you can just turn on and turn off them when you need. So now I turn off my background lights, and as you can see how much the lights also matters for your background. And you can also use a backdrops behind you. So for example, I have painted my walls, but you can also use backdrops. And I have tested different types of backdrops over time, and I didn't like fabric backdrops because they wrinkle easily and are hard to keep clean. And then I bought many different color paper backdrops, and they stay clean and are very easy to maintain and look good on camera. And if you want to use paper backdrops, they get this very like clean and even look because they are the same color, it's consistent color. But the downside is that the image can feel flat and a bit boring if nothing else is going on. And that was one of the reasons I moved away from using only backdrops and then built this kind of more detailed background. And if you want to use those paper backdrops still, I recommend gray color instead of white because gray works better with RGB lights, and this way you can just get one powerful RGB light and you can change the background color very easily just changing the color. And here are other background ideas. So one of the easiest and cheapest ways to control your background is painting the back wall, and this gives you very consistent look without adding anything else. So that's what I did here, for example, in this studio and also my another home studio. And one note about blue, because that works well on camera because skin tones don't have blue hues, so you will always be separated from the background if you use some kind of blue tone. Another good thing is also use, for example, wooden or acoustic wood panels that you see here in this image, and they can also work very well and they look good on camera and help with sound at the same time because they will reduce the echo. And here is a picture of me when I went a personal color analysis, and this can really help you choose colors that work for your skin tone and your clothes and your brand, and then you can use the same colors on your background. So for example, this dark blue that I have on my background is also my sweet color. And one more thing about like dedicated setups versus changing like locations. So the dedicated setup makes filming much faster because everything stays ready in one place. But also, other hand, when you change location, that can make videos more interesting and that will add variation. So how I use this myself is that I film all my long form videos this one dedicated setup and most of my short form, and I usually just add like second camera angle or I shoot B-roll if I want variation for long form videos, or I use this kind of, like for example now I'm using Gamma app to showcase these slides on the screen, so this gives also like variation of the video. And when I film short form videos, when I film them here in this office, I just change the angle, so I will just, whenever I shoot short form videos, I just shoot them like a little bit different places here in the studio, or of course you can shoot them outside or a car or anywhere else to get that kind of variation for your background. But this way my workflow is very fast when I like film long form videos this way and short form videos this way, but still I get variation to the content. So no single background is like correct backgrounds. Of course, many different ideas will work, but just the important thing is that the background fits your niche, and just avoid like messy backgrounds or distracting objects or like poor framing, and because these pull attention away from what you are saying. And here are a few simple framing reminders. So just keep yourself centered. That helps also if you want to cut clips, for example, your long form footage. So it's easy then just cut out the size of the image, and then you can get like these kind of talking head videos very easily from your long form content. And place your eyes roughly in the upper part of the frame, so about the line of 1/3 from the top, and just leave some space between you and the background, and this will get you this kind of nice looking blur effect. And of course, when you use wide lenses with low aperture, that help create more background blur, and this separates you from the background even more. And here are a few final notes. So if you can show your expertise naturally in the background, please do that. If not, build simple studio setup that I teach here and keep the background clean and intentional. And most importantly, choose a setup that helps you film consistently. And I can honestly say that this kind of dedicated setup that I have here, this have helped me to film so much faster and keep me filming consistent and like than anything else that I have tried. So hope this helps, and if you want more my help how to make educational videos, please check the link below this video. There is a link for my school group where I help like educators to make more videos faster. And also you can check this video next where I show what kind of camera setup is like the fastest way to create videos. See you on the next video. Bye.